Hey, this is Chef Nick. Today we're going to be talking about birria. And if you're not familiar with that concept, it is really exploding today. We first saw birria a couple years ago in Los Angeles, and we've been really keeping an eye on it. And today it's really come to the fore. And really what you're going to see out in the mainstream today is in a taco format. But what I show you in the end result is going to be a lot of different menu opportunities through the different day parts, being breakfast all the way through dinner. But where it starts, being birria, is meat and the braising liquid being chilies. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is the chili component of it, of what birria really is. And so what you see here are guajillo chilies, and you see this paste. So classically, birria is made with guajillo chilies, sometimes pasilla chilies, and sometimes a combination with ancho chilies. For me, I decided to use just the guajillo chilies to mainstream it and to keep it simplified, and to also make it not super spicy at the same time. But if you're familiar with deseeding these things, toasting them, and then hydrating them to puree them, it's a lot of work. And what I'd suggest is buying something like this, being the paste ready to go. So that's step one. This becomes the base for the braising liquid of the meat. And basically this gets pureed with roasted tomatoes and onions and spices. And some garlic, and this becomes a really nice red braising liquid. These guajillo chilies are known for being brick red in color, and that's what becomes these red tacos that we're going to talk about being the trend. Now let's go into the meat. So the meat of what we're doing here for the braise is typically a rough cut or an off cut. In Tijuana, you're typically going to see beef birria, and then in Jalisco, you're going to have goat or lamb. In the US, what you're going to see to be more mainstream is going to be the beef format. So these are two cuts of beef that I want to talk to you a little bit about. This one is the ossobuco cut off the shank. And then this is the chuck short rib, which is really, really popular today. This is going to be a little bit less expensive, but you get this wonderful bone in here that has marrow and collagen. And as you braise this thing, it really fortifies the broth or the liquid, making it a stock. It really carries it a long way for depth of flavor. So I want to call that out as two different really options. I think that it will work for you, but this is the one that I went with for braising. So what we did here is we took the ossobuco cuts, we roasted them in a hot oven, 425 degrees for about 30 minutes, flipping them over halfway in between. And then really simply just kind of glaze these bones and the meat with a little bit of beef base, some of the guajillo chili paste, and water. And this kind of sets a caramelization to really carry the flavor along and the depth of flavor as we go into the braise. So we kind of, caramelize the proteins. They're nice and caramelized. And then we add the braising liquid over the top. And, for the magic of TV component, what you're going to end up having is this wonderful braised beef protein here. It's all pulled and shredded and highly versatile for a lot of different applications. Before we get into the actual taco demo, what you're gonna see probably on Instagram, social media, is red tacos. And really simply, it's taking a corn or flour tortilla, in most cases it's corn, and you're dipping it right into this broth before it goes on the flat top, and it becomes red. And that's really what red tacos are. And then the fillings can be as creative as you wanna be with the beef. At the end result, what I'm going to show you is some different ways to kind of weave this through your menus. We're going to take a look at the end, outside of tacos, an eggs Benedict concept. We'll take a look at a ramen concept that's really popular right now on social media, and also some birria quesadilla rolls. And let's get into the taco. Okay, now we have our taco off the flat top. We've got the ossobuco shredded beef in there. We've got the rajas, which are the onions and poblanos that have been charred. And now we're just gonna kind of finish this thing. So we're gonna add the quick guacamole on top of here. And then we're gonna just put a little bit of cilantro and some radishes as well to kind of finish this off. Cilantro down. Some radishes, and we'll fold this up. And, one thing I really like about these in particular, outside of tacos, birria is a super portable idea, right? So anything you can think of that has pulled protein in it. So anything from a pizza topping to, like I said before, eggs Benedict to a sandwich, the world is your oyster when it comes to a protein like this. So it's multi-versatile. So at the end of the day, we've got this awesome taco. And to finish birria for what it really is, you have to have the broth as a side for dipping the taco in. That is classic for birria. So you have what they call a consommé, which is that wonderful braising liquid with all the chilies and all the flavor and the depth of flavor from the ossobuco in there. And you just put this off on the side. And this is something that would also port very well, but dunk it in there, serve it with some salsas, as well as some fresh lime, and you're all set. And if you haven't checked out any of the other demos yet, what you're gonna notice is how we cross-utilize a lot of our ingredients. So for the pasta demo, we utilize birria as a ravioli filling, so check that out if you hadn't yet. So thank you very much for your time, and check out the rest of the demos.